Hello and happy Friday. You're here for another faith-based weight loss training, and this is training number 15. I am so glad to have you here. And my name is Diana Sahakian, and if you are new to the group, I want to welcome you. And so glad to have you with us. So let me know how you're doing on this Friday. I am going to have to just do something real quick here. So be patient with me. Seems to always be some glitches in the Facebook world. So if you are watching live, please let me know. Here we go. I am just looking for where I need to fix something so everybody can be seeing me. And I think I've got the glitch fixed. So I'm coming back. Okay, let's see here. All righty, so I've got you ladies. If you are with me, once again, let us introduce what we're doing. We're here for our live podcast and our Friday training. And my name is Diana, and I have an awesome show planned for you today. And today's topic is, are you letting the scale be your guide, and why that's the worst mistake you could make that's going to sabotage your success in your weight loss. If you are a faith-based woman who is looking to lose weight, gain energy, and reduce stress, this training is for you. We're here to help you experience total transformation in mind, body, and spirit. And we want to do that from a faith-based perspective. So we have a unique look at things, and we are looking for sustainable and lasting change. And as always, I want to invite you to come and join us in the Facebook group. I know you can be listening on iTunes or Spotify or watching on YouTube, but you want to be part of the Facebook community, so you can join us at www.facebook.com/groups/faith-based weight loss for women. In the group, you can ask questions, and you can engage in the community. It is awesome. And so we have such a great community. In fact, I am so moved by the involvement of the women, the prayer burdens being shared, the support, the encouragement, the education. You don't want to miss out. So I want to invite you, and I want to welcome you here. We have a lot of new members, and we want to equip you with what you need to succeed in your journey. So let's dive in. And as always, I like to start out with some shout outs before I go. And so let's do some shout outs. Good morning, Debbie. I see you here. Lawanda, anyone else watching? I want you to connect with me through the comments. I'll be checking them as I go. So great to be with you ladies. And so I want to go through and share 2 wins today. I want to do a shout out for Carol, who was at her doctor this week and was told her blood pressure has improved since her last visit. Carol has been part of this community and has also worked in the 5 principle method, and she has experienced wins on the scale, wins with her health, and wins with her mindset. And so this week, she had the added win of knowing that her blood pressure has improved since she started the program. So Carol, give her a shout out in the comments. Yay, Carol, and keep up the great work. I also want to do a shout out for Debbie, who found out this week that she has lost 6 inches in her journey. And that was just super exciting, because it was a main goal for Debbie. And she is just continuing to make progress in her mind, in her body, in her spirit, and so excited to continue her journey in the 5 principle method faith-based program. And so give Debbie a shout out and give Carol a shout out. And again, as always, you can put help in the comments if you want me to reach out to you, or just be part of this group and engage with what we're doing here to get you some success with your weight. So let's get started. I'm always super grateful to be here with you ladies. I've got my notes here, so when I look down, you know, I want to make sure I cover everything that I've prepped. I take a lot of time prepping for these sessions so I can equip you with the best information. And so today's topic is, are you letting the scale be your guide? And why that's the worst mistake that will sabotage your success in your weight loss. And so if this is something that you have struggled with in the past, if the scale has been your ultimate guide, can you put scale in the comments? Go ahead and drop scale in the comments, and that will help me know that you have struggled with this, where the main thing that you rely on is that weigh-in every day. And so many times that is our number one guide in our weight loss. And today we want to look at why the scale should not be your number one guide, because of many reasons, and we're going to dig into that today. So if you can relate to the scale really becoming like having a love-hate relationship with the scale, and maybe have found it challenging, drop scale in the comments, and that will help us know that you can relate to what I'm talking about. And so this podcast is for any woman who has found that her moods, her mindset is affected positively or negatively with the scale as you are pursuing your weight loss. So many women are pursuing weight loss. I just read the average American has gained 29 pounds since COVID. And so again, weight struggles are real, and they are, you know, part of our life. But as Christians, we want to overcome in these areas, and we want to get results that are lasting and sustainable. And we want to be transformed, and we want to honor God with our results. And so I want you to stick around to the end, because I'm going to let you know at the end about just some cool things going on in the group. And I just think there's a lot of great things here for you to learn in your journey. So again, if you have maybe put yes in the comment, if you can relate to, you know, you are someone who weighs yourself every single day. And when you get on the scale, if the number is a number that you like, then you're happy. And if you hop on the scale and the number is not a number you like, your day is ruined. Can you relate to that? I don't know about you, but that was me for so many years. I would weigh after I ran and sweated and, was done with all my systems clearing out, and I would hop on that scale. And if that scale gave me a number that I thought was what I wanted, then I was happy for that day. And if I got on that scale and it gave me a number that I did not want, I was not so sure how I felt for that day. In fact, I would go a step further and to say I was grumpy and very frustrated for the day. I was even more grumpy when I would be doing all the right things and I get on the scale and the scale didn't give me the number that I believed should be on that scale. And I see some of you dropping scale in the comments, and so thank you. But yeah, have you ever felt that way where you weigh first thing in the morning, you don't even drink a sip of water, you're fully naked, you have got you've tried to use the bathroom, you've even sweated with your workout, and you hop on and that becomes what we could say an idol, where your whole mood, your whole day, your whole focus, perspective, value is coming from that scale. That was me for so many years, and I see that so much with my clients. In fact, I'm going to tell you about my client recently who told me even further that she was stepping on the scale to see how certain foods affected her. So she would weigh in the day before, let's say she'd make good or bad choices, and she wanted to try to use that as a way to determine if these foods were helping her or not. And furthermore, as I talked to this client, although in the 5 Principle Method program, we only ask our clients to report weight once a week or once every 2 weeks, depending on the client and their history with the trauma of the scale. Usually it's once a week, but I have learned that many of the clients are weighing in daily, even though they're only reporting weekly. And so this client was doing that, and this came up in one of our check-ins, and I had to go into kind of, sometimes these are the meetings that lead me to some of these trainings where I said, we've got to really work hard on going from weighing daily to weighing weekly, because there's a problem when you're letting the scale guide you to this degree, and when the scale becomes the idol in your mind, and you know it's an idol when stepping on that scale can literally make or ruin your day. Am I the only one here? Give me some thumbs up, some hearts, give me some, I can relate, or in the comments. If you're watching on replay, please let us know and put replay in the bottom. But I want to continue my story about this client, because it turns into a great win. So this client ended up being in a predicament where she could not be on the scale for a week. And the challenge that I had for this client was, rather than relying on the scale to be her guide, I wanted her to learn to rely on her choices, on the habits that she was making, and on the lifestyle we were trying to incorporate and transition into. And so rather than the scale being the way you choose to act, let the actions lead the scale to where we want it to go. And this client was not able to weigh for about a week, and she ended up stepping on the scale a week later, and she was 3 pounds lighter. And during that week, she was relying on her habits, as I said, and she was just really surprised to see that when she was not obsessing about the scale, she was able to get the results, rely on her habits, and not be tormented with the scale as her main thing. So let me look at my notes here. So the influence the scale has on your mind. The scale messes with our minds, okay? And so that is number one today, is, have you experienced the scale messing with your mind? And if so, let us know that in the comments, okay? I'm trying to see your comments, but I'm having some glitches, so I'm going to transition to my phone. And I'd like to see if you guys are commenting, and I am not seeing them, so give me just a moment. And that way I can for sure not miss them. Okay, here we go. I can see your comments. I'm having some glitches, so I'm going to transition to my phone. Can you hear me? There we go. You could hear that. Sorry, guys. I'm still trying to master the technical glitches. I appreciate your patience with me. Okay, so I'd like to be able to interact with you. So give me some comments, let me know you're there, and I will continue. So the influence the scale can have on your mind, I wrote here, it messes with your mind. You think you can eat more when the scale is low, or you get depressed if the scale is high, and you stop relying on your healthy habits. So that is number one, the influence the scale has on your mind. Like I said, with my client that I talked about, she was letting the scale guide her. Camelia, so good to have you here. Good. I see that I can see the comments, and I appreciate that. Nothing worse than scale obsession. Exactly. And again, I want to even take it further when that scale really becomes an idol, and really it can go both ways, positively or negatively. It can ruin your day and it can make your day. And we don't want to be slaves to the scale. And so the reasons the scale will sabotage your success is kind of what I've talked about. It's going to mess with your mindset. We talk a lot about here in this group that weight loss is so much more than what you eat and how much you exercise, so much more than those two things, especially sustainable weight loss. Most of the battle is right here in your mind, and the scale leads to battles right here. And as I alluded to in my introduction, so many times that number, particularly when it's not going in the direction you want and you think it should be, it can really throw a curveball at you and knock you out of the race. And that is really dangerous, ladies, because we want to learn what are the right things to do, what are the wrong things to do, and we want to do them consistently over time, believing that we will get the results and we will sustain those results over time. It's not like, you don't eat the day before, you step on the scale, it's really good, and then you stuff yourself that day, the next day you get on. You get the idea. You can't continue in that way of life, especially not as a Christian when you want to honor the Lord. You often reach wrong conclusions when you're relying on the scale. So again, the scale just gives you a number. That number is affected by so many reasons. It can be your water weight. It can be your GI system isn't cooperating with you. You can be sleep deprived and stressed, and your hormonal changes are creating a change in the weight that is going to settle in a day. You can be at a certain time in your cycle and your weight's going to be off. And so those are just some examples. If you think that if you eat really unhealthy today and tomorrow the scale will show it, I always tell my clients the scale lags. You don't see the true effect of your choices on the scale as quickly and as predictably as you will think. So keep that in mind, because the scale will mess with your mind. What we need to focus on is our choices, our habits. How are we choosing? Are we choosing the foods that are good for us? Are we choosing to eat when we're hungry? Are we choosing to stop eating when we're getting full or less than full, 80% full? Are we obsessing about food? Are we obsessing about a number? What is our purpose? What is our why for wanting to lose weight? There's so much more to sustainable and successful weight loss than that number on the scale. Debbie said, I love the truth to rely on our choices and actions for best results, not the scale. Yes, that's exactly the point today, Debbie. I love that. And so I want to tell you another story of another client recently who really is learning this lesson. And so this is another client that had a number on the scale that she wanted to break. She had not been under 200 pounds. And so she broke that number, and it was a huge win. Well, then her mind started really struggling with, can I keep this? What if I go back up? So we started working through all kinds of mindset issues. And then the client weighs once a week. So that was somebody who was cooperating to weighing once a week. And she got on the scale and it was higher. And the disappointment with this client is kind of like I told you guys, sometimes you're doing the right things, and this client was doing the right thing. And when she got on to weigh, she was like 0.6 pounds more. And this was a real punch in the gut for this client. And many of you watching, again, if you can relate, give me some relates in the comments. Tell me you can relate. It feels awful when you're doing all the right things and you hop on the scale and it is not what you want it to be. And after talking to this client, we had to kind of get to the heart of the struggle with her mindset. And we had to identify so many non-scale victories that she was experiencing even in that moment, that she was able to reframe it and really recognize how the scale was really messing with her mind. Okay. And so, thank you. Camelia says she can relate. So give me some feedback that you can relate. And this client is now recognizing that she has to free herself from the scale and really work on her mindset and really work on recognizing what we call as non-scale victories. And if that's something you've never thought about, I really want you today to take away from this training is to think of what are some non-scale victories that are going to help you to measure your progress besides the scale. Okay. And another thing I want you to take away is I want to really encourage you to go away from weighing daily to weighing weekly. And like we are called to live by faith as Christians, we have to trust what we don't see. We want to trust God even when we don't see everything. We need to trust that we are living with the right choices and that the scale by faith is going to eventually follow. It will fluctuate, but over a long period of time, we want to see those, the scale is going to follow. It will follow, it just may not do it exactly as you wish. Lawanda, be safe driving. She said, I'm here listening, but she's driving at a red light, and she dropped us a comment. I love that, Lawanda. I love that you're listening. And Debbie loves the non-scale victories. And so I want you to write them. So I wrote here, what are alternative guides to your weight loss that are better options than the scale? So an example would be your measurements. Measure your arms, measure your tummy, measure your thighs. Sometimes some of you might have a lot of baggage with measuring. Pick one measuring point and kind of visit it over time. Now, of course, there's a lot of things you should be doing to improve your measurements, but sometimes your measurements can be changing while the scale isn't. Measure your energy levels. Give it a number. 10 is amazing energy and 0 is none. How's your energy level? How's your stress? Give yourself a victory based on your stress. Our foods can affect our energy. Our foods can affect how we feel, lethargic, stressed. So how are those? How are your GI issues? If you struggle with like reflux, indigestion, bloatation, measure your victories on that. I wrote better sleep is another non-scale victory. Maybe you're working on weight loss and the scale isn't showing victory, but you're sleeping better. You're having less GI issues. You're having more energy. Your measurements are improving. Your clothes are fitting better. It's a huge victory, right? I had a client say that today. Her clothes are looser. You guys saw that post. You have less brain fog. That's a huge victory, friends. And so again, maybe you're not getting exactly the weight loss that you want or as quickly, but all these other things are happening. Let us not miss these wins. And less bloating and heartburn, which I mentioned. These were just a few that I jotted down, but I want you to think of this list. Are you having more energy, less stress, less GI issues, better sleep, clothes fitting better, less brain fog? Just to name a few, are any of those happening? Because those are all victories. These are all wins. And just one thing, in the faith-based group, we want to recognize wins because they help us see the things that are happening, celebrate them. And every win that you accomplish means you're going to be able to accomplish another one. Camelia said her clothes are fitting better. Clothes fit better is my scale. Yes, so clothes fitting better is huge. Being comfortable in your own skin is a huge one as well. So again, you're going to have a few homeworks today. I want you first to remember, if you are obsessed with weighing every day, I want you to scale down. I want you, no pun intended, I want you to start weighing once or twice a week. Number two, I want you to identify non-scale victories to help you. And my last point is, how do you prioritize what you should use as a guide? And so journaling is huge. And so you need to be journaling on these points. Let's say you picked energy levels. So every day you're going to need to use a way to be able to gauge it. And so, what was my energy today on a scale of 0 to 10? What was my brain fog? You can pick whichever markers and you can track it in your journal. And then prioritize based on the area that you struggle with the most, right? If you don't struggle with brain fog, clearly that's not a good measure for you. But if you do, and if you need to work on that, then definitely make that one of your goals. So as we kind of wrap things up, I want you to think about yourself, and are you letting the scale be your guide, and why that could be sabotaging your weight loss. And change happens when we are able to identify problems. So if you're still in denial and you're like, yeah, it's fine. I was finding myself struggling with this week. Ironically, I don't normally weigh every day. I weigh it once a week, once every 2 weeks, but I was starting to hop on the scale more frequently. And I had to preach this lesson to myself. And I had to literally decide I'm not going to step on the scale for a week, because we want to rely on our choices, on our habits, and on lifestyle changes that are helping us long-term with the choices we make, the quality of the foods we eat, the mindfulness in our eating, and seeing the results that we need. So again, if this resonates with you, if you are like, yes, I totally have let the scale mess with my brain, I have made the scale an idol, my whole life is, being affected by the number on the scale, then please, let us know that in the comments. Remember, when you comment, it's a step of vulnerability, and vulnerability is where we grow. Pretending to be who you're not is what we call imposter syndrome, and you're not going to grow there. So you need to step out in vulnerability, put some comments, be real, share your struggles, and let us encourage one another to make changes, lifestyle changes, transformation changes. And we can, we want to see you grow. Camelia said, in spite of all the health and weight gain, sleep remains my issue. Camelia, we can talk about that. If you want, reach out to me. I'm happy to talk to you further. Again, sleep can be affected by a lot of things, and there's a lot of ways we can improve sleep. In fact, I can possibly do a podcast on sleep down the road. Anyhow, if you are, stick around on Monday, I'm going to release a free resource. If you want it, you're going to have to let me know. If you would like me to reach out to you, put help in the comments. Also, you can message me. And again, we just finished our 3-day challenge of Boost Your Energy. And I've been getting a lot of great feedback for the women who participated, that they saw that their energy was boosted. Guys, this is part of our life, our weight, our wellness, our personal development and growth. And so I'm glad you're here. I invite you to engage and get involved and recognize that as Christians, we really need to take care of what God has entrusted us with. And I am so blessed to be able to be here. You bless me with your just comments and with you sharing, and I want to help you be successful. And again, just to be transparent, I'm here on the free page, but I also work with clients, and it's totally up to you in which capacity you'd like to work with me. But if you are wondering and curious how I can help you, I'd love to talk to you further, but always so grateful to have you in this community. All right, that's it for this Friday. Don't let the scale be your guide, your main guide. If you have an issue with the scale, let's be honest. And reach out, and appreciate those of you who have commented. Have a wonderful Friday, and I'll be back with you next week. All right, take care, guys.